Ratshipanga, currently doing my third year at Vaal University of Technology. I'm doing logistics. And why logistics? Being from Limpopo, don't ask because you will hear lies. Simple as that. But anyways, it's not a matter of saying you will hear lies, Nani. As I always say, you guys, and you always want to spoil someone's mood because as a person studying logistics, it means if I have to explain why I'm doing logistics, I have to be exposing my plans, which you guys might take and use it against me and spoil the mood. So yeah, that's why I don't normally say or give the reasons behind me studying logistics.
Okay, yeah, okay. I kwagetsi Mr. Ratshipanga yona e kwagetsi e tla tsenela mo dithogong tja bona le tja rena, then re tla ba phasa sonke so ba right. So yeah, but fandaga go biletse ka mo for go bileditse ndaba ya black excellence like we've talked before, and then yeah, black excellence.
Yeah, man. Here's the thing about black excellence, it's too broad into an extent that for us, in order to notice it, we also have to know where is our table. And after knowing our table, we also have to actually, before getting to the table, there are a lot of factors that we have to deal with before getting there. Because as a black person, there are a lot of things that I deal with before we can even go to the economic or macro level. Like, I mean, micro. Because, okay, let me put it as raw as it is. You know, I'm a vendor by grouping or this land reform ads and so forth, or by language, which means from there we start to play a tribal card. So before we can even talk about black excellency, we have to realize, if we want to talk about black excellency, we have to do away with tribalism. Yeah. Because if you want to succeed as a person, especially as a black person, there are a lot of things that you go through, especially in South Africa.
Yes. Because I've been laughing at this for some time now. What are those?
No, I know whenever I say this, it kind of sound funny or crazy. Let me show it to you. First of all, as a vendor person, I cannot just wake up and go to maybe Skukune and start a business. What?
Yeah.
And then the other thing, a person from Skukune cannot just come here and start a business here in Venda. And I'm not saying you cannot, you can, connecting to the right people. Hey is something that stops us from, I know I've railed off from what you wanna know, like black excellency. What's my take from black excellency? But I will still come back to that. Okay. So it's something that I've been saying for a very, very long time, Ogoti. If we don't do away with tribalism, we will never, ever, ever, ever notice the importance of black excellency. Because even that thing, you know, as like from Limpopo, there's that tribalism thing. Yagoti, our vendor, the smartest one. Amapedi, Balinyal. Songas, rude people. Fanas, womas. It's something that even when we want to work together, we already have that stigma, Yogoti. Why can I work with a Tsonga knowing the Tsongas are rude? Why can I work with a Pedi knowing Pedi? They don't care about anything beside our home. You know, so coming back to black excellency. Man, there's a lot to talk about. I mean, we have infiltrated almost each and every industry. But here's the problem with what's going on. Most of us, we are not using it to benefit our fellow brothers. We are using it to make a name for ourselves.
Exactly.
In this sense, let me show you something. How many millionaires you know from your community, specifically from your community?
Yeah, a few of them, yeah.
Even if you might not encounter one, but you have heard rumors, and those rumors have been backed by one thing or another.
Yeah.
But what are they doing to the community? Nothing. Because why? As a person, we have that problem. I am the first person, and I will be the last person. I cannot do anything for anybody else whom will come tomorrow and suffocate me, because we don't want to award good works. Why? Because whenever we see someone succeeding, as a black person, I say, oh, there goes hope. There goes hope. Now he's a billionaire. Instead of saying, okay, cool, hope is a billionaire. Oh, okay, let's small digits. Hey, those big digits. they're like, so maybe that thing, okay, hope now maybe only something going. So as Tshandoku, instead of saying, okay, maybe hope is owning a shop. How can I work with hope? Okay, sure. I know a lot of people who are producing maybe fresh product, being your veggies, your fruit, or whatever. Instead of striking a deal with hope and say, hope, since you're having a shop, why don't I be your supplier for fresh product? I go and say, how hope I can see shop, ngampane re hloke di shop kaofela. So the thing is, it's not all about achieving, but the problem is, how are we using our achievement? Because with Black Excellence, we only talk about it when it favors us. That is why I was saying that day, Ogodi, Black Excellence depend on where are you standing. Because with Black Excellence, there are a lot of things that we have to cover, because Black Excellence, it's broader. But the way that Black Excellence have been defined into our generation, it is more of like an American dream, If American dream, I suggest my brother go read about the American dream, and I'm sure, even though you have asked me, Ogoti, why was I saying, or the American dream will be lived in South Africa? And to answer that again, or to bring it back, simply by this: if you follow the whole 1960s movement, it was advocating for system changes. And not just system changes, but also changing the mindset of we people of color.
Right.
So what happened is, as people, I often say, Ogoti, yes, indeed, we are deemed to be free, but we are not yet free, because we have been set. We have been taken out from a system that was hindering us from not recognizing some of the things. But we have not been, as people, moved from that system. Let me show you something. As a black person, if I start a company, I still use the same categories which were set in the 90s to employ people. Also, to be a truck driver, I will say Italy Code 14, Italian. Yes, a Code 14, we know it's a minimum requirement. Truck.
Yeah.
So the thing with Black Excellency, what I can say to you, or what have been bothering me the most, it's we are not lighting each other's torch. We are not lighting each other's torch. Let me just show you something very, very simple. There's this brand trending right now, Rich mnisi. The famous Bantu. Did you know that before he could even open a store, he was selling online? And most of his customers were not from Etembisa. No, they were from outside Etembisa. Because Tina, as a community, the moment you make it, I want to pull you down. And forgetting, Okuti, if you go up, we are all going up. Think about this comb. Manje, Ugoge, Bathu Rich, mnisi, or Amakosa.
Yeah.
Or good life for that matter.
Drip. Yeah.
For dribbling. But here's the thing about us. We say drip is overpriced, but Gucci is okay.
You see? Yeah, that's where the problem emerges.
Man, let me show you something very, very fast. No?
Yeah.
Not so long ago, we were in this movement so-called Black Lives Matters. Does Black Lives Matter? Or does Black people matter to support the economy? Because if Black Lives Matters, let me show you something. How there's that mind now. What did that mind do for people Mukopane? Is big beside Arahan, but for miracle, so Black life doesn't matter. This is what I was saying. Oh God, if indeed Black life matters, there are a lot of mining companies or farming companies that are within Black communities, but those people are not benefiting at all.
Yeah.
And the other thing that makes me kind of worry about this thing here, Black excellency, is we have defined it. Okay, kind of using our Ubuntu nyana there, our charismatic nyana there, but we are still using the so-called white supremacy. But I don't see it, because what I've realized, even Botha said it, the oppressor of a Black person is not a white person, but it's a Black person. Because something. How many people, going back to your community, who are creating jobs for Bathu community?
Very slim. All they're just doing, but they create jobs somewhere outside the poesy and everything. But then it's far from poesy.
Something. Whenever you have some skills on using the internet, you have some skills on being using the internet for public relation, like promoting brands and so forth. Give out to brand from your community who have maybe okay. I will make this example lockdown. And then from there, if you're not understanding, you will tell me. But if you're understanding, and then that's good, you will pick or why I was talking about this thing. From the 26th March until the 1st June, we were on a hard lockdown. Like, that thing, from that period, we had right to blame the government for or research or so and so, because they are not providing the necessary things for us. And then there were a lot of complaints about hunger.
Yes, yeah.
So what happened, Kuri? From the 1st June, we went to level 3, which is an easy lockdown, which means Ogaya shopping at any time, Ogadira a lot of things at any time. And here's the thing: they opened up, they lifted the ban on alcohol.
Exactly.
Which stores were filled to the brim between the liquor stores and the food stores?
It was the liquor store.
But when we were on the hard lockdown, people were complaining. or access the medical facilities or access miriane.
Yeah.
The same people got the one the liquor store. So here's the thing. The problem with us is I often say, Okoti, it's not the system, but it's our mindset.
Exactly. Yeah.
So coming back to black excellence, the problem that we are facing right now, black excellence is being defined through academics, not what we are doing for our community or for one another.
Yeah.
That is why you will find a person is a multimillionaire, but he or she is doing nothing for the community beside dieta skolo or skolo. And this is what I was also saying to my uncle this other day, Okuti. We are living in a period here. If we are talking about black excellency, we are talking about a transferred wealth, not a dignified wealth. Yes. Okay, here's the thing. Transferred wealth is more all about like the hands out, the easy thing, the quick things. I'm not saying those things don't work, they do work, but the problem that happened is even the government it's using it for our schooling system. Whenever we have a lot of graduates that are not employed. Why? Because our government that thing, it's all about a transferred wealth. Saying we are doing things for the blacks out of pityness, not out of empathy. That is why whenever the mobile classes. Why? Because of how we define black excellency with this belief your skolo is the only thing way that you need. Yeah, and I'm not saying skolo is not the only way. Hey, even if you hear a lot of billionaires will tell you, yes, skolong, or can I drop out but oil skolong.
Yeah.
Oscaro for the artist, Oscaro for the soccer players. Let me just be honest with you. Baba talent. Baba is just hard work.
Yeah.
Baba. So it's something here. Most of these soccer players, skolo is not the only thing to succeed. They went, played soccer maybe for 5 years. After that 5 years, they started taking their money and invest it onto something.
Yeah.
Hey, Ronaldo, I say he's skolong, but he's a billionaire. Ronaldo nali the hotel. Ronaldo nali clothing range. Ronaldo nalidi perfume. Ronaldo have partnered with Nike. Ronaldo have partnered with Herbalife. You have to buy create the but still partnered with him. To show the guy, Salohan, Bonur, Abekama, Bona Chelet, Irigi Gawa, Kidoja Chelet. So the thing about us is we have grown into a society at instant things due to transferred wealth. Because okay, now I don't have anything against a transferred wealth. The forex, the WhatsApp stock fair, the gifting and so forth. Because we want instant things.
Yeah.
Because we the way we were raised in that thing. We no longer have the power or the will to wait for things.
Yeah.
Because even if you check what Bill Gates, these people were benchmark, whenever you have to start your own thing, link. Level Microsoft, even a 27 years period before it can even boom.
Yeah. Amazon as well.
Amazon from 1994.
Yes.
It started booming. In 5 years, well, it is booming. Mara the guy, hey, this thing won't be forever. It started as Hana Origin X. Origin, I mean to say. Hana, like, he has a lot of companies. Like Elon Musk, he has the boring, PayPal, a lot of things. Because those people understand the power of creating, not the power of transferred wealth.
Okay, yeah.
which is killing us. This thing is killing us. Mona, I don't want to lie to you. Lina, I do sometimes yes, indeed, corruption is killing us, but corruption is killing us because of our mindset, the way we were brought up, the way we were raised. And I thank God for my family. I don't want to lie to you. They if Olibella, there's this series called Blackish.
Yeah, Blackish, I know the series.
Yeah, if you good that kind of same style, freedom to explore, also telling them the perks of being a black person and the hardship of being a black person, all those kind of things, showing you, hey, if you don't have your thing, if you do this and that, which is something because problem the so-called born free. It only 1996 progressed to 1999, and even Linu, it is still happening. Let me show you why. Our politics, it's not all about qualification, but it's all about who do you know and what can you do for.
Yeah.
I heard a lot of people saying the DA will come change things, EFF will come change things. Even in the ANC, I heard people saying, Ramaphosa will come and change things. To me, all those things kidikwile. But I remember even talking to a friend of mine, I won't mention names for safety purposes. Sure. So I was saying this to him, Okuti, nah, I don't mind Ramaphosa. We believe or we have this sentiment, Okuti, Ramaphosa will change our economy. But here's the problem. The problem will be he will still be using the same policies or the same system which was introduced in 1994 until today, not coming with ways that are adapting to the new world.
Yes,
because
exactly.
There's the data about South Africa. South Africa, I always say this, South Africa can soar to higher places. South Africa it's a third world with a first world facilities. Even our roads up to standard. The driver Europe. Cause Land Cruiser mo South Africa, Land Cruiser waka Zimbabwe. Two different things. Why? Because right now we are in the third world, but with a first world economy and a first world facility, which allows those countries to easily work or integrate with us in terms of sharing information, in terms of sharing resources. But the problem here in because they are still using the same ways.
1984.
Because as a person, company, I will use the criteria it should be 1992. Even predefined second revolution in England, where I will say you will come work 9 to 5 or 8 to 4. And then I will also say to you, this is how you should dress. This is how you should do things. And people don't understand why companies like Google, Airbnb, Alibaba, why are those companies thriving? Because they've come up with ways to define themselves. Because they have seen that those ways were not working for them, and they devised their own way.
Game on.
So the thing with black excellence, my man, I don't wanna lie to you. This thing is so broad into an extent. You're erasure to tribalism, erasure to how black excellence is defined, erasure to who are in power and why are we in power. Because there's something that as people will have to understand. Sometimes the system is not the problem, but the people who are running the system are the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what I often say, it's not how are you doing something, but why are you doing something?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you know why are you doing something, you will know how to do it.
Exactly.
Because it's more or less like what most of us young people who wanna go into business. Our why for starting a business is saying, I wanna be my own boss, I wanna be rich, but forgetting Ukuti, for you to be rich, you have to take care of your customers.
Exactly.
You have to take care of those people who are supporting you. You have to always do right by them.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember if you look at wa day to day, not baba di carefully.
Yeah.
Go nya gore business ya gago e se bile re twa ke bo magogo.
Yeah. That way you can get more geeks, ne?
Ke o botsa ke re bagekolo if ba ka o tshepa I'm sorry for that error. If I ka ba tshwara gabotse ba tlo tshepa, and if ba ka o tshepa, they don't care ore ke nako mang le ge if o se go lining, they have to hear a confirmation from you ore a ba namele taxi ya mang.
Yeah. Ya bona we are just bisa duria. Yeah, kai bona no.
So the thing with black excellence, my brother, I don't wanna lie. It's something here on which we have to deal with an issue after an issue before we can even say now we are starting to celebrate black excellence.
Okay, I know.
Because what happened is we are seeing an enemy. Okay, let me show you something, man. Let me show you something. Did you know that most of these brands like Illegal Gucci, I don't care, like these famous European or American brands, somehow they work together.
How though?
Do marketing, you will see. Sometimes especially these working French brands, like being your Gucci, your Louis Vuitton, your Hamel and so forth. So what happened is gona bjalo ba nna as Gucci ke tlontšha seene, then wena as Louis Vuitton wa ntšha seene, and then we go sit down. That is why wa ka checka mo di-company tše dintši, there are those people so-called silent partners.
Yeah. What about silent partners?
Man, have you ever thought, Okuti, who can be those silent partners? You will see as a brand like Gucci or Louis Vuitton not producing anything, but at the end of the year, they still say we have managed to make $20 billion. Where are they getting that money from? You will find where maybe as Michael Kors is selling, but Calvin Klein is quiet. But at the end of the day, they say Calvin Klein is up there.
Mm-hmm.
Because these people understood the power of working together.
Yes.
So coming to SA, there are a lot of famous brands. But ke brand che ka tše di berekishanago, or ke batho ba ba kae ba o ba tsebago ba berekago mo.
Very less. That's what I buy.
Because let me show you something. As a rich mnisi, he has a lot of things, like he makes shoes, clothes, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
As maybe Hope, you can come and say, oh, this guy is making a lot of things. why don't I partner with him and make a cologne?
Yeah.
But I will say, no, which means, magawe lo muntu. Magawe.
Yeah. They will.
Muna, na agenya go jamaka. I'm not the best in this thing, business thing, but I have seen ukuthi partnership idirang mo business. I have seen ukuthi partnership irodisha young business. Let me show you something. Airbnb have partnered with a lot of airports, but Airbnb yona in a location.
Exactly.
But it's making a lot of money.
Yeah.
Why? Through partnership. Amazon doesn't have a location, but it's making a ton of money through partnership.
The power of working together.
The power of working together. Emun, understand this. Why German cars are excelling?
Oh, I've seen VW. I think VW and Audi, they're working together, something like that. I don't know.
Even Mercedes, they work together, and they also exchange workers, especially in the strategic part. They also they just circulate. From Audi, ayeko Mercedes, ayeko VW, aweleko Audi. That is why if you look at these European cars, most of them, they are Swana, Lehebi, Papana,
Yeah. Audi and VW, I've seen that.
That is why even the Chinese and the Japanese, they have seen, if we work together, we will go far.
Exactly.
That is, Levela Huawei. But did you know, Huawei, there are a lot of companies.
I thought just, it's a brand, like Limo Try or no, 2 million. Just like that.
Man, the thing about this world, I don't want to lie to you. The most valuable information, nobody will give it to you. You have to go out there and find it
yourself. Yeah.
Nobody will come to you and give you wisdom. You have to go out there and search for wisdom. Another problem that we are having for Black excellence is fighting for a table that we don't even know where does this table come from.
Yeah, and where is it taking us?
I have heard a lot of people saying, hey, these white people have been having it so good. Right now, it's either they invite us into their table or we destroy the table.
How about we
let me show you something. I'm sure you will there's this university people saying it's being built somewhere in near Waterkloof, and then when you do the research, it says the Afrikaners community each donated money to build a university. How many Black people have you had doing such a thing? That university, then it la be le gona re thomolwa le bona re ha wa le ka se dire university ya lena le le dire mola re le South Africa ka ofela.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it is. That's how it is. That's how it is.
The problem with us, it's not like we don't have the resources. We have the resources, but the problem is we don't know how to use those resources.
Yeah.
Because we don't wanna help one another.
Yes.
Muna, let me show you something. I once said this. Success, it's not based on how much you have, but on how many people are you helping. Most of the people who are like Ubuntu, they talk about Ubuntu when it's for them, not against them.
Yeah.
Even these banks, they talk about Ubuntu when it's for them, not for us.
For us.
Muna, so with Black excellency, first of all, we have to understand, we have to create a table of our own.
Yes.
Muna, how many people even blacks, you know, vaal a very, very huge land that they are not even doing anything.
So many.
How many black peoples do you know who have a ton of money, but they are not using it for anything besides partying or doing anything? I'm not saying don't party, but make sure. Here's the thing: people don't get this concept. Most of these white people, they are not money rich; they are asset rich.
Exactly.
That's where they beat us. You don't see a lot of them being named, hey, he have this much money, he have so much money. No, you hear them saying, he's the owner of so-and-so company, owner of so-and-so farm, owner of so-and-so property.
Yeah.
But Rina, the thing about us is we tend to run for those depreciating assets instead of appreciating assets.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's bad. Hey, let me show you something. For them to be successful, for Bathu be successful, dressing for the occasion or driving for the occasion.
Mm-hmm.
But once they make it, most of them. I laughed 2 weeks back. These other guys saying, I hate motivation or motivational speakers. And I said to him, do you hate? I asked him this very, very simple question. Do you hate a motivational speaker, or do you hate he or she will say something that will make you want something that you know you have to be disciplined enough in order to get it? Because most of the people with motivation, we don't hate motivation. We hate the fact that this person is going to challenge me into doing something that I don't want to
do. But I'm forced.
So that is why even most of these white people, most of them, they don't want to be named they are rich. Why? Because they know the moment you are let me before I say this, let me holler at you about some titles.
Mm-hmm.
Titles are what is killing most of us as young black or young people. Mm-hmm. Which degree you are pursuing?
Environmental health.
Nangu ngiyabona xoke izinto zakhona. Ke khona ho lwala gabotse or ke nyaka o tšea o tlo bereke mo tšhimong ya. Ntho ya mathomo mo hope I am a qualified environmentalist, not just a qualified environmentalist. Passed with a cum laude. When on your confachim rekeberekane le yona mo we utlo aunya kompatela sale. I once had this other guy. He said to me, you know, how did I make it? Yes, he knew work for him was guaranteed. I won't mention people for safety purposes. But most of the time, a week, I was passing after doing business management. Mm-hmm. And then I asked, why this passing? Success, you don't measure it. I mean, like academic success. For to be specific. You don't measure it by working for those big or already established companies. Mm-hmm. You measure it by working for a small company that wants something. When I go with your home, I know you have the skills, you have the mentality to grow that land into something valuable, something at the end of the day, you might have a share. Mm-hmm. But when our title, it is entitlement. That is why I said this. Ari, I have a right to education.
Mhm.
The moment you say, I have a right to education, you have an entitlement to learn, to be educated.
Mhm.
But you forget, Uguti, from that entitlement comes a responsibility.
Yeah.
You have to avail yourself in class. You have to gather all the learning, or you have to gather all the learning materials.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
the problem here in Yona as Batokuri, we are using our we are using our tribes to define black excellence. We are using the European vision to define black excellence.
Yeah.
We are using cultural backgrounds to define black excellence.
Mhm.
Forgetting, if we take all these four, there are a lot of things, but I just mentioned four. If we take all these four things and merge them together, we can go